Hello and welcome to Unemployed to Unstoppable FM24 version. We've taken a year off, kind of chilled out, didn't really go for FM23 because there wasn't too much of a change from 22, but it seems to be quite a lot of changes being implemented into 2024, the last one of its iteration. So without much further to say, let's get started. So here we are then, ready to create a new game. So we're going to start a career game as usual. We're going to start Unemployed with the basic of qualifications and club football. You do get to choose some different modes now on FM. We're going to play with the original mode, so all transfers have already been set up in the game. Won't affect us too much because we're probably going to end up somewhere daft anyway. We'll just look for what leagues are open. So give ourselves a fair spread across the world. So we've got England, Bulgaria, Finland, Hungary, Scotland and Slovakia. Most of the lower leagues open on all of them. We'll start Unemployed like we do every season. Hopefully this time we won't start in England. It'll freshen it up a little bit and give us a bit more of a challenge with the ultimate aim of coming back to England in the future and hopefully winning the Premier League. So let's just start up the game then. Database is on a large database, so not massive. Game speed still to be 5 stars, so it shouldn't be too jerky. I have dipped my head in once or twice to the new version just to have a look at what's changed. So hopefully it won't take me too long to set up the team, etc. Get my head around transfers, finances, all the good stuff. So hopefully you can join me on the journey. Today's episode will mostly be just starting off Unemployed and finding us a club. So we'll use this profile. Sunday League footballer, National C license. There we go, so new game. As you can see, some available jobs already. Lots of teams that I've never heard of before, and hopefully we will end up at a team that, again, many of us never heard before. We'll see if we can wangle our ways, forge some kind of career path and get ourselves back to the promised land of the Premier League. What we're going to do is we're going to go on holiday. For anyone who's not done this before, you can go and apply for any jobs, go on holiday indefinitely. When you hit go on holiday, it'll just keep churning through the game. You'll apply for lots and lots of different jobs and it will bring you out of holiday once you get some sort of interview offered through. So what I'm going to do is I'll leave you there. I'll click go on holiday, we'll let it churn through and we'll see what options are available. So welcome back. So first job interview has come through and it's suitably obscure. So Buda FK, who I think are in Hungary, have offered us a job interview, so we will go through that. For those of you who haven't seen this interview process, it's quite similar. I'll only show you this one. If we get any more interviews, I probably won't show you it each and every time because the questions are very similar. So let's get down to business. How do you overcome the language barrier? Again, you've got some, you can dismiss it, you can convince them or compromise. I'm going to go for the convince option and tell them I think I can learn it quite quickly. I don't know much Hungarian, but I'm sure I'd be equally as good at any language, which isn't very good at all. They parted company with last manager sooner than I anticipated. What assurance have I got? Well, I think we're going to commit to a long and illustrious career at this club. Kenny says there's no problem securing the backing of the players. I think we're just going to have to go with a promise of being confident of earning the support of every player. A manager limited resources, I think that's right up our street, so we'll do the right thing with the club's money. And would we work with a director of football? I think it's our first job, we would work with anything. So strive to make progress on and off the pitch, kind of work within the wage budget, it's pretty standard. Grow the club's reputation, again that's quite a standard one. Maximum 1 year contracts for players over the age of 33. I think we'll be looking to avoid players of that age if we can anyway. Minimum 2 years for contracts for the first team players. End of the current season, they want to finish mid-table and be competitive in the Hungarian Cup. And just to continue for the next 5 years, which doesn't seem overly ambitious. It seems quite doable. Currently 15th in the league, so that seems acceptable. I'm not going to say we're going to exceed the expectations because that's making a rod for your own back, but I think we could avoid relegation. I think we'd be happy to work within the wage budget and we have nothing additional to offer. So that concludes the interview process. I mean, like I said, it's pretty standard across all teams, very similar questions, depending on what the club aim is specifically. Sometimes it asks about youth, etc. But we'll see that. I'll keep clicking on, and I'll get back to you either with a different job interview or confirmation that we've been successful. So stay tuned, and I'll see you again very shortly. Welcome back, and it didn't take long at all, but they have come back to us. Buda FK have approached us formally for the job. So a quick check over the vision again, striving for progress, pretty similar to what we've just read through because it was very short period of time ago. £475 a week, no transfer budget, wage budget of 14.5k per week, no club job applications, keep director of football in place, and acceptable managerial support. So we're going to go for the job. We're not going to play about with too much. We've got an 8-month contract. That's probably just to see if we're successful or not, because if we make a right pig's ear of this, we'll be looking for another job very soon. So we'll finalise that. Exit the talks, one click of the button, and we should be welcomed as Buda FK MTE Hire Williams. Eyebrows have been raised in the world of football at the appointment of the inexperienced 42-year-old. 2-star reputation, medium prediction of 10th, so 5 places below that. Looks like we're still in the cup. Not much in terms of the club history, so Hungarian Division 3. That's the kind of anticipated first 11 we've got, which we'll look through them players in a minute. I'll probably look through a lot of the players off camera and then come back to you with the highlights of who we've got and what the kind of plan will be moving forward. And there we go. So playing time expectations for the players kind of summarised. Again, season expectations largely the same. Quick dip into the squad. Doesn't look too bad in terms of size. We'll just have a look. I always like to check. They've got a second team and some under 19, so we can evaluate some of them prospects as well. One of the things I haven't looked at really, because I didn't have it in my version of FM, is the squad planner. Obviously need to create a tactic for that. So I'll disappear off camera, I'll have a look, I'll evaluate the squad. I'll take you through who I think is a keeper and who's a goer, and then we'll kind of formulate a plan of tactics moving forward and play the first game of the season. So stay tuned and I'll be back shortly. And welcome back. So I've had time to evaluate the squad, been through the player setups and tactics, etc. I'll just kind of take you through the thought process of where we are. It's not actually too bad. I think this team's actually alright when you look at it in terms of club vision, club info. It's generally a club that's on the upward curve. So it's been in Division 3, had a couple of years in there, moved up to Division 2, got promoted, came straight back down, and just kind of been sitting mid-table in this division for a while. So it's a club that's come from the 3rd to the 2nd, had a brief spell in the top. I suppose the job really is to kind of stabilise us and push us back into that top echelon again. Looking at other things that are quite interesting, when you go through the season previews, I actually predicted to finish 8th, 33-1, so that's not actually a bad rating, which tells you that we've probably got some quite good players in there. Which, when I got to the squad planner, which is something new I've not really played with, we're actually not looking too bad across the board. 3 stars, 3.5 in most positions. Points to note is the goalkeeper Ben Skundal Takax, he's actually pretty good. Horvath, 35-year-old reserve keeper, he's actually on £375 a week, so it might be a case of offloading him and letting a Aussie come up from the reserves to take on that bench place. So there are things that came. We've got some really good left and right backs. So Fotiek, who's out injured at the minute. I know he's 33, but he's one of the high prospect players on the left. On the right, we've got Nimrod Biranyai. He's again young fullback. He's in on loan. Again, he's really good. A little bit of depth in behind them, but not too much. Centre back's got 3 good ones really. A couple up and comers, but I think Lawrence and Hogozi are probably definitely starting centre backs. Vaziksu, he is on a bit more wage. We're probably going to keep him around. I did think about offloading him because we do have an issue with the wage budget, but I think it's important to keep 3 good centre backs in there. Defensive mids, again, we're alright. We've got 3 probably pretty good ones. Ola's one of the high prospect players. We've got Nanduri. and Kasonka. They're kind of interchangeable in their roles, just in front of the back four. On the left then we've got, well, Adam Pinter we've got on the right, we've got Soretto on the left, and Horvath's kind of a floater. I think we've actually got him up front at the minute. We'll go into that more in depth in a second. Again on the right we've got Soretto, middle of the park, which is what's causing us a little bit of problems, is Mario Nemeth, who would be our starting kind of attacking midfielder. He's injured. He's out for a little bit of time, 4 weeks to 2 months, which means Kovacs, who's actually probably our best out and out striker, is probably going to have to drop back into that attacking midfielder role, and then that central striker is kind of up for grabs. I think I've got Horvath in there at the minute. In terms of tactics then, that's what we've plumped for, 4-2-3-1. Gone for playing on width, a bit on the wides, distribute to the flanks, a little bit of counter-attacking football for one pinpoint. Now, if you're wondering the reason I've chose this formation, when you go into the squad planner and get an assistant report, some of the strengths this team's got is against the 4-4-2, but actually in terms of chances created, a 4-2-3-1 DMAM wide is probably the best one for us. So I've kind of played off that. I've also taken some of the squad depth, so Barany and Fotiuk at the fullback positions, which I've already been through, Ola in the centre of midfielder, Zoretto on the wing, Pinter on the opposite wing, and by and large all the players are quite good at finishing, so that's the kind of strengths we're going to look to play for. In terms of other points of note, really, the staff is looking a little bit lacking, so there's a number of positions out, 8 in total, which I put adverts out for. We'll look to fill them because it's small margins, better coaching staff, better development, can hopefully move us up the table a little bit. The big problem I suppose we've got in terms of finances is we're currently over £1,000 per week over our wage budget, so I'm putting that kind of down as priority 1 is to balance the books. Priority 2 is staying in the division. I've had the team talks, they're happy to just avoid relegation, so there's not going to be much in terms of players coming in, but what I think we might need to do is move some out. So I have made a little bit of a plan. So I think if we look to offload from the squad, Horvath as a goalkeeper, got a right back in the reserves called Foldy. Again, he's already listed. I didn't list him, he was listed before we got here. Look to offload him. Matti Fikete, who's a winger, if I can find him. So he was already listed as well. He's not got much in terms of development stats, and he's not going to get in our first team with the stats he's got, so it's probably best we can offload him. So I mean, we're already getting close to that £1,000 mark. And then Ben Zelek, who's a striker, again £350 a week, 31 years old. He's not going to be a first team striker for us, so it's probably best we offload him, let him go. In terms of transfers that have already been decided, we've got Zoltan Halaz, he'll be on his way out 15th of January, not too far away, but again that's another one off the books. And then to backfill them positions, we'll look to promote from the youth team. A reserve goalkeeper Istvan Orozoi, Mark Biro right back, Ben Skretska as a new right winger, and Zoltan Vazari at striker. They're already at the club, so it's not really going to change anything in terms of finances, so that should balance the books aspect side of it. In terms of getting the results on the pitch, we've got an alright schedule. We're just going to have to kind of feel these teams out. I think at 33-1 we didn't have that bad a squad. Looking at the squad planner and squad depth, I think we've got the makings of a competitive team in this division. So season 1 for the next 8 months, kind of balance the books, stay in the division, and we'll reevaluate in the summer what we can do transfer wise, because there's not really a lot we can do in terms of bringing players in at this moment in time. So what I'll do is I'll click through, I'll start the ball rolling on listing players, etc., and I'll bring you back for the first game in charge of the new team, and we'll see how we go. And the waiting is over. We are here for the first game in charge of Buda FK. So up against Pex away, they're 7th in division, we're 15th. just got a few changes we might need to make when we get into the screen, because they're saying that we've got a couple of players that Nandori and Ola don't like to play together, so it might be something we just have to sort out. We're getting some restrictions here, so what's that? One under 20 player must be in the starting 11. So who do we go for? Fits in that under 20 category. Tempted to throw the striker on there, Vazvari, over Horvath. That should satisfy it. Couple lacking in fitness. Bit of substitution issue from the 12. Skip through and let's skip these. It's probably great in the first time as you get all the recommendations coming through. Let's get the speed up a little bit. Not too quick. That should be about right. Maybe slightly too fast. No, it's alright. Nandori into Vazvari, nearly getting a goal straight away. So bringing the young man in might have created some chances. But on a positive note, first kind of highlight goes to us. Getting Vazvari up there, spearheading the attack. But we've got Pex coming in. That's a good shot from the edge of the box. Tipped away. Corner coming in. Again, we just need to make sure we keep it clear. Set pieces, I went through them. You kind of get some suggestions. They ask you a couple of questions and they formulate a kind of set piece pattern for you. As Ola breaks into the box, back to Nandori and close to putting in the bottom corner. But again, positive going forward, looking to capitalise on one of these. Got us on swinging it in at the near post, overloading the near post area for flick-ons. Hopefully we can cause some chaos in the box as another one goes in. Pinging around, but Vazvari has to come deep and pull it back out around the back. No chance to recycle it in, and away we go. So 15 minutes in, not too bad, still 0-0. We'll probably consider us the underdogs in this fixture, but we're settling into the game alright. Point wouldn't be too bad, but what would be really good start would be if we could pick up 3 to drag us away from that bottom end of the table. But Rome wasn't built in a day, so to speak, so it's going to take a little bit of changing and swapping around to really settle on who our first team players are going to be. There's another chance for Pex to deliver a ball across. Pinter had a chance to clear it there, but he got caught. Soretto should be able to deal with this now. So Ola sends it long. Nandori now to Pinter. I think this should probably fade out now. Barani down the right into Kovacs, and he hammers it home. So Kovacs currently playing that deep midfield role behind the front man. He would normally be our recognised striker, but while we've got players out injured, we've got him playing just behind the young striker, and that is a great little finish. So good run from deep, passing the striker, ball from Barani. Slams it in. Tight offside call, but it was given, so we'll have to take that as Soretto gets injured, which could cause us some problems because I rate him as one of our best players, so hopefully the injury is not going to be too significant. Foot injury. Got Horvath on the bench. He comes in pretty much a ready like-for-like replacement. Which is quite lucky really that Vazvari started up front, but Horvath was on the bench to pick up for the injured players. It's going into half time then, 1-0. I don't think we could have asked for much better than that really. We've limited them to 1 shot on target. They've got really low XG. We've had 5 with 3 of them on target. So far it's looking quite promising. Give them a bit of positivity at half time and we'll get out with the same side that left the first half on for the second half. A bit of a misplaced pass by Kovacs there, but that first highlight after the kick-off is quite often like that. So we'll have to see how the second half pans out. To be honest, if we could just see it out 0-0 the second half, there's 3 points on the board, and we can move on with a plan to offload some players, recoup the wage budget, get some staff in, and try and move ourselves up the table a little bit. As Pex pull out a corner. Headed clear initially, but they get a chance to recycle it. It's gone quite deep. And let's hit the post. It was close to getting on the end of it there. Still going. And the ball's out for a corner. So it was quite a tough one there. Vazvari looks tired, so we'll get him off. Get one of the young lads up there for a go up front. We'll look to hit some early crosses, see if we can maybe pinch a second. Corner ball then, Horvath will swing it in, substitute. In it goes. Marjou's just come on, strike from the edge of the box, it was a good strike. Ban struggling at left back, so it looks like Foldy will have to come on. Just to see out the last 10 minutes of the game, playing on the opposite side he's normally used to, wrong footed, but as the ball's put across the Pinter, the flag's gone up for offside, it won't count. Didn't get a replay either, so it can't have been that tight. Long ball up top, 3 minutes left, but Peck's are on the ball over the top, and he's put it over the bar. I don't think that was a corner, I thought it was a wayward shot, but they've got a chance to do something with 2 minutes to go. Pinter should get a chance to break now. We're really looking forward to drive into the corner. Kovacs picks it up, out to Horvath, this is his chance for a break. Horvath cuts in and the goal opened up to him, it just needed a gentle little roll into the far corner, but he wasn't able to. Just got a couple of seconds left on the game. It would have been devastating if that had come to something, but 1-0 away win at Peck's, first game in charge. Some really good performances on there. I mean, Ban came on at left back, did pretty well. Olgozi at centre half. Again, the two defensive midfielders working well together, so that change at the start to bring out the mismatch of characters was good. And Kovacs, who I think is probably our best player, he's standout performer, got the goal. Probably man of the match. And yeah, 8 shots, 4 on target. I don't think you could agree with that scoreline. Get into the dressing room, give him a bit of praise. Have a quick look at the league table. So we're pulled out of the relegation zone, 1 match. I mean, there's a long way to go, but that was the start we were looking for. So they're saying we were a bit lucky, but I'll deal with all this in a minute. We'll just have a quick look at the schedule. Where are we? So we're currently in October. What I'll probably do is just play through a chunk of games. I won't take it all the way to the end of the season or anything. I'll probably just play until we get to the start of December, maybe come back for the Nyíregyháza game. Hopefully I've not murdered that pronunciation, but yeah, we'll probably come back at that game, see how we're getting on, see if we've offloaded any players, and got the wage budget under control. So once again, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the next episode coming out in a few days' time. It won't be released every day or anything ridiculous, just on a regular drumbeat, maybe 1 or 2 episodes a week, and we'll see how we can get on the first step in our journey from unstoppable to unemployed to unstoppable. So thank you very much.